Okay, Ralph, I told you I was going to give you some tips on biscuits and gravy making, okay? Now, the best way to do it is get yourself some self-rising flour. I found out that this gold medal one is pretty good. They have lots of different brands. There's like Martha White, and there's different ones, but I like this one. And I've decided that it's better to use butter instead of like a Crisco shortening. So I just follow the recipe on the bag, and I've got a half a cup of butter in there, and then I'm going to measure in 2.5 cups of the self-rising flour into there. All right. Now, in the meantime, you know this part. The sausage is just browning, okay? And you use your little gizmo that we got at the festival, at the Arts, Beats, and Eats Festival, the Pampered Chef thing, which is perfect for breaking it up into tiny little pieces, okay? All right, hang on. Okay. Now that's the 2.5 cups of flour, and then I have to use a fork because I don't have a pastry knife. But if you have a pastry knife, that'd probably be better. Although everybody in my family, they just use their hands to squish it up, but I don't like to do that. And they would just use their hands, and they would go completely by feel, okay? So wait, I gotta pause this because I need both hands. Plus I'm getting flour all over. Okay, so you get the butter mixed in with the flour until it's like, it just looks like kind of chunks in there. They shouldn't be real big chunks, but they don't have to be real tiny either. Now, that's another thing. My mother would scream if she could see me doing this with a fork. You're supposed to do it with your hands. And the worst thing that you can do, according to all my relatives, is handle the biscuits too much. You don't handle them too much. Okay, sausage is... just stir it up a little bit. Alright, now you come back to the biscuits and you take your cup of milk. It's even better if you have buttermilk, but I don't have buttermilk today, so I'm just using regular milk. Pour it right into the middle. Okay? And again, you can do your hands if you want to, and then you just take your fork and just go around in a circle. And the milk is going to catch all the flour that's built up around the edge, and you're going to end up with a big sticky ball in the middle, okay? And it's kind of hard to stir, and it's very goopy, but that's the way it's supposed to be. All right, I got to put the phone down now because I need both my hands. I'll be back. Okay, Ralph. Now, the sausage is starting to brown up, so I'm going to put some flour in here. You want the flour to sit in the sausage for a long time, because the browner your flour gets, the better your gravy is, okay? So you have to put the flour in pretty soon after the sausage starts to brown, and then the sausage can continue to brown, and then the flour will get nice and brown, and then you'll have real good gravy. So let's see. I don't know. Maybe I need just a touch more flour. It's not real good if you put too much flour, but you got to have enough. So let me... Oh, okay. So there's... All right, we're just going to stir this up and just going to let this sit, okay? Now, I've got the biscuit dough here, and you can cook the biscuits two different ways. You can make them into little biscuits and put them like on a cookie sheet or something, where each biscuit is separate and not touching the one next to it, and that gives like a crispy biscuit all the way around. And that's probably good if you're going to be making like a little sausage biscuit sandwich or something. But for biscuits and gravy, you kind of want the biscuits to be more fluffy. So for that, I cook them in a cast iron skillet like my mother used to do. I'm going to coat the skillet with a little bit of butter. And then you just take the biscuits, you just take the dough and pull off a piece, and kind of roll it up. Again, the secret is not to handle it too much. Just roll it up a little bit, put it in there, all right? And then you just, so the biscuits are all together in one big thing and they're touching on the sides, okay? That might be too big. I just roll them in my hand. See, it's still a touch sticky. The dough is always a little bit sticky for biscuits. See, mine aren't real pretty, though. But oh, I'm not going to have much left over. That's right. I'll just make a couple. All right, now I have to do the last thing, which is what my mother always did. I don't know why she did this, but my mother always did this, and I don't feel like they're done until I do that. She took her fist, put it in the flour. Oh, there's the Skype. Yeah. And she would squish down on each biscuit. Okay, you can stop it. Okay, Ralph. So, can you see how brown that's getting? Nice and brown. I cut the fire back quite a bit. I've just got it on low. And the biscuits are now inside the oven. There's my two little ones that were left over, but there's my pan. So they cook at like 425. It's a high heat for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that. Okay, so we'll check back later. Okay, Ralph.
Where is he?
He's in Milan. Okay, Ralph, here goes. Now, the stuff here is all browned up. The biscuits are almost done, so I'm going to make the gravy.
Oh, is it for your apartment, huh?
No, he's in the street just walking.
Yeah, see, the biscuits, they're getting there. They're almost done. Almost done. So I had the fire down on this, so I'm going to let this heat up a little bit.
Maybe he's trying to meet another girl.
Okay, I'm sure you hear everybody in the background, and I guess you figured out by now that the reason I'm making biscuits and gravy is because Lydia is here.
Lydia.
Okay, so I pour in the milk.
Do you want some orange juice? Well, you know where it's at. You know where everything is at.
Okay, so typically it's just, you put the milk in, and you just stir, okay? All right, it has to get hotter, so that it'll start thickening up, and then I'll pour more milk in there. All right, I'll come back in a few minutes. So that means it's going to be thickening up, and it's just a constant stirring. And see, it's nice and brown. I love it when it turns out this color like this. So I'm just going to pour a little bit more milk in there because it's going to continue to thicken. Even after you turn the fire down on it, it's going to continue to thicken. But you can always add a little bit more milk to it, you know, so it doesn't get too thick. You don't want it to be like glue, but it can't be watery either. I think my biscuits are done here. All right, so let's take a look. Oh yeah, I think they're done. They're nice and brown, huh? Yeah, they look fine. There, that's better. There we go. Gravy. And then you just, to go with it, we're gonna cook some of these fresh chicken eggs to go with it from our little chickens, and I will show you the finished product on the plate. Okay, and this is the biscuits that have been made in the pan. Oop, that one broke. Where's the one I had out earlier? See, now they're fluffier because they're not crunchy on these sides, you know. They're nice and fluffy. That's what you want for, you know, putting on the gravy. Okay? Put your gravy on there, Jen. I'm showing Ralph, this is the finished thing now, and we're all sitting down to eat. And look who's here.
Oh, please.
Hey. All right. All right, there we go. It's breakfast, and it's like noon, so whatever.
It's lunch.
Bye.
Yeah.